The importance of the next chapter in Lifeline's story is that we are able to reach beyond our Rogers Park community. And in doing that, there's some really exciting things we have coming.
We, this year, launched our first national tours of 2 Lifeline Kids shows. It's exciting to travel the nation, going to places that don't necessarily have theater, and to share Lifeline's work there.
I see our access programming continuing to grow each year and increasing the number of performances that include audio description and open captioning, and adding in ASL interpretation, and expanding our autism sensory-friendly shows into our main stage series, and really increasing the number of performances with these dedicated services so that our patrons with disabilities have more options of when they come to Lifeline.
Those ways that we can make our educational offerings more a part of the Rogers Park community and make Lifeline a place that people turn to have an educational experience, a theatrical experience, and engage with theater. The more we can do that, the better, and the stronger we all become.
Part of our growth of the last 20 years, and it's part of our ambitions for the future, is to keep expanding our family, to keep reaching out to artists and audience that are new to us, and artists and supporters who we already have a relationship with, but inviting them to closer relationship with us, to keep expanding our family, to keep growing.
I've worked in the box office for 14 years, and I've seen kids grow up coming to our shows, and I've talked to numerous families who used to bring their children when they were young, and now they're bringing their grandchildren to the shows. And it's really amazing to see how much of an institution Lifeline is for our community, and also how important it is to these families to continue the tradition of coming to Lifeline every year.
So my first exposure to Lifeline was actually before I was born, which might make some ensemble members cringe a little bit. My mom understudied for Jane Eyre, and so that was my first exposure to Lifeline, and then I went on to do theater all throughout middle school and high school and majored in it in college. So stepping back into Lifeline and sitting on those couches was like, oh my God, I remember this place so well. It was like coming back home in a lot of ways.
And we've been in the neighborhood for
My whole
your
life.
entire life,
Yes.
and for me, beyond, for about 30 years. And I shop around the field trip, not only because it was my daughter, but I realized it was Lifeline, and I had lived in the neighborhood for years, and I'd never been to the theater. And it's just kind of neat that she ended up becoming an actress.
When I was first in the lobby for auditions, I was like, oh, this is what I'm doing. I could actually perform at this theater. Wow.
Life went full circle. It's kind of neat.
James C. was one of the actors a long time ago, and a year or two ago he wrote a book. And you know, in the early days, I think they still do this, they autograph the programs. So when James C. was here, I dug out the playbill that he had signed. I brought it that night when he was here, and I showed it to him. You know, he said, "Where did you get this?" And I said, "I've had it since, you know, like 20 years or whatever it is," and he couldn't believe that I had kept it all those years. And my kids really treasured those autographs back then, so the grandchildren get them now.
The first show that I saw at Lifeline was the Phantom Toll Booth. I saw it when I was a little kid, and it was one of the first theater experiences that I had, and it was whimsical, it was weird, it was funny, and it was super exciting, and I vividly remember seeing the show and really enjoying it.
What I actually love about the Lifeline is that you kind of, you know, get the train rolling by, and you're in this sort of half alley, but you come into the space and the lights go down, and you're suddenly transported to something whimsical and fantastical and wild and crazy and fun, in a way that I feel like it's unique in the Chicago theater community, and that's one of the best things that I love about it. So Kieran, our son, who was in a wheelchair, he was a twin. And sometimes for the four of us, for our whole family, my wife and I and the boys, it was sometimes hard to find an activity that all four of us could do. We frankly, you know, sometimes getting a smile out of him was somewhat hard. You really had to work hard at it. When you got a smile out of it, you knew it was awesome. You knew you did something great. And eventually we figured out things that he loved. He loved music, he loved lights and changing of lights. He loved when people would get up into his face and smile. And again, when you got that smile, it was just incredible. The experience at Lifeline was something that all four of us could do. We could all go to the show and sit in the front row and laugh, and then talk about it on the way home, and have this moment together that we, in this, very amazing space, that was this incredible memory that we all very much cherished as it went on. And so we were very lucky to have that as the family together. Kieran died earlier this year through complications that he had related to his disorder. And at his memorial service, we talked about how important it was and how much he loved going to the theater. And we're so lucky that we had those two experiences here at Lifeline, to see those two shows. They meant a lot to us, to our family, and they made Kieran smile.